Cruise ships work. Okay. Maritime Labor Convention. A muster drill. Oh, what am I doing? It's called research. You should do some before you, make YouTube videos. Now, roll my new intro. What's going on, y'all? It's the Cowboy here, and welcome back to Cowboy Jack Live. Thanks for tuning in. Before we get started, don't forget, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. That way you know every time I come through with a new video, like this one here today. You know what really grinds my gears? When people put out YouTube videos that they haven't done any research on. No homework, no looking up the information, no fact checking. And that's what happened here. This is almost the reason I started this channel, because I'm flipping through YouTube one night. Remember that YouTube addiction I have? And I come across this video called Everything Wrong with Carnival Cruises. Now, I was looking up some old videos and getting research because we just booked a cruise. So there's some more awesome content coming in August of this year, August 11th through 18th. Just saying. And this video popped up. It's by Brand Sins, and I never made this channel to start bashing people. That's not the case. But like I said, do some research, do some fact checking, do some homework before you start into all this. I watched this video, and there's 31 sins listed. If you look at his little sin counter he has up in the corner of his screen. Actually, it's 32 because somewhere the sin counter screwed up. He had sin number 7, and then 8, and then back to 7, and then it jumped to 9. So there's actually 32. But when you look at it, theoretically, it's about 22 sins that he lists, because there's some that are just spread out, and he calls it 3 sins. There's some that are just opinions of his, and that's all good and well. This is my opinion. He has his. I'm not bashing that. Today, I'm going to touch on 14 topics within the video, covering 19 of his sins, which obviously shows how things could be condensed. And that's what we're doing today. We're looking at 14 sins. We're going to absolve you of your sins today, Carnival. Now, first off, I told myself I wasn't going to bash dude personally, especially since I don't know his name. I looked it up. But the comment section on this video sort of done it for me. So, yeah. I'm just going to let those pictures speak for themselves. Oh, dude, get a haircut, man. Get a haircut. I sort of going through this list the way he covered them in his videos. So, now that I've made fun of his haircut, we can go on to 14 topics. First off, Freddy's dead. I hope you're happy. Fun Ship Freddy was the Carnival mascot for probably about 12, 13 years. But in 2013, Freddy was retired and was sent to the mascot retirement home. So don't worry about a mascot in the shape of a whale's tail, which also happens to be the shape of the smokestacks on a cruise ship. How ironic. Carnival Cruises. So now we're going to talk about cruise ship classes. Now, classes are not equitable to social classes. The classism he wants to talk about. That's not how it works. Cruise ships categorize their ships in classes as a way to distinguish them from others based on their size. When new ships come out, odds are they're going to order about 3, 4, 5 of them of the same size, almost identical layouts, and that's what creates your cruise ship classes. Just take a look at my notes. Notes is what you get when you do homework, folks. Don't you love it? Notes, homework, do your research. Carnival cruise ships is what we're talking about, so let's look at the Carnival Inspiration. It is the smallest ship in the fleet, and it holds 2,056 guests. Whereas the Carnival Horizon is the largest in the Carnival fleet and holds 3,960 guests. Quite a big difference there. Almost 4,000 total on the largest ship. Almost double that of the Inspiration, the smallest ship. Let's move on over to the Royal Caribbean, though. The smallest Royal Caribbean ship is the Empress of the Seas. It holds 1,840 guests. Whereas the largest ship in the Royal Caribbean fleet, the MS Symphony of the Seas, 6,680 guests. Largest ship in the world. There's still two more Oasis-class ships being built. So now you see the size difference between these two ships and two totally different classes. A last-minute cruise on the Royal Caribbean Empress of the Seas, the 7-night Best of Cuba cruise, will set you back anywhere from $663 to $804, depending on what room you get. Whereas a 7-night Caribbean cruise on the Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas will set you back $799 to $2,024 per night per person. Big jump. You get what you pay for when it comes down to these ships. So it all comes down to this. Do you want to take a cruise with 1,800 of your newest best friends for a week? Or 6,600 of your newest best friends for the week? How many people do you want to cruise with? There's all kinds of stuff in the middle to choose from. That's your cruise ship classes. Now, some people say you get treated differently on different classes. Well, that has nothing to do with the class of the ship. That's simply what room you stay in. If you get a butler suite and a mini suite and all this, you're going to get waited on hand and foot. That's just like getting a first class ticket on a plane compared to flying coach. You get what you pay for. How does 100,000 tons float? It's science. I'm not a scientist. I'm not even going to try to explain that one. Ice cubes float in water. I don't question how they work. I just know it keeps my whiskey cold. It's got to do with buoyancy and water displacement. Check out this link right here. I'm going to put it in the description below. That way you can click it. Cliff notes. Lightweight materials and water displacement makes a ship buoyant. The ship and its contents are less dense than the water below it. The empty space in a ship allows for the ability for it to float. It's the same concept as throwing a bowling ball in a pool and throwing a beach ball in a pool. The bowling ball is heavy and dense, it's solid, and it has no time to displace the water before it gets submerged, so it sinks. Whereas the beach ball is hollow, it's big, and it displaces the amount of water in surface that it weighs, sorta, before it's totally submerged, therefore it floats. It's science. Like I said, I'm not a scientist, but that's how it works. And since the first cruise ship was built in 1906, they've had 113 years to sort of perfect the science of cruise ships and making them float. I think they've advanced pretty good. Still trying to figure out how the fear of the unknown is a sin. And just make it a sin so you don't have to understand it. I don't understand it, but it's not a sin. Renaming the Destiny to the Sunshine is a sin because you wear your tinfoil hat and you are sure that your destiny is to be roasted alive by sunshine. Where's sunscreen? If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Carnival's retirement benefits suspension. So he claims that in 2013, Carnival sent a notice out to all of its employees that they're no longer receiving benefits from Carnival in their Carnival-based funding, whatever it was. Not totally true the way he wants to put it out there. A direct quote from Carnival says that the Maritime Labor Convention 2006, known as MLC 2006, which came into effect on August 20th, 2013, embodies up-to-date standards of international maritime labor laws and recommendations. As of August 20th, 2013, MLC 2006 was ratified by 50 countries representing 75% of global shipping. The enactment of MLC 2006 resulted in several changes to our benefits and compensation plans for the shipboard employees. One such example is that we will begin paying contributions to government-mandated Social Security programs for applicable seafarers instead of providing a company-run retirement plan. As a result of MLC 2006, Carnival Cruise Line's total financial investment in benefits and compensation for shipboard employees has increased significantly. In short, Carnival Cruise Line is now paying to government-mandated programs instead of their own program or Wells Fargo retirement or anything like that. So if you're getting screwed, it's your home country's fault, not yours, not Carnival's, sorta. Oh my gosh, ship's on fire. What am I gonna do? If you paid attention during the muster drill, you'd know. What's a muster drill, you ask? It has nothing to do with mustards and dill pickles. Although that does sound pretty good. It's after lunchtime and I'm hungry. Mustard and pickles and cheese. I'm staring at the kitchen right now. Pay attention in your muster drill and you'll know what to do. More notes. What gets covered in a muster drill? If you've ever taken a cruise there, Helmet Head, you know what goes on in a muster drill. Here's what's covered. A roll call and confirmation that all guests are in attendance. If you're not, they will find you and they will kick you off the ship. Seriously. You can get kicked off the ship if you don't go to the muster drill. A muster drill is required by law to happen within 24 hours of a ship leaving the dock. After the Costa Concordia incident, they actually do that before the ship even leaves. That way they can kick your ass off if you don't show up. Simple as that. They also cover how guests and crew will be notified of an emergency and the horn or a whistle or alarm will be demonstrated. That way, when you hear one of those and you know shit has hit the fan, you know what to do. What to do in the event of an actual emergency when or if you hear the ship's alarm. Such as the ship being on fire. Where to go? How to don life vests. Now, some cruise lines actually say that you have to bring your life vest to the muster drill. I've been on Carnival and Celebrity, and I've never had to carry my life vest to the muster drill, but I know where it's at because I pay attention and do my homework. And they also cover other safety notes, such as rules regarding disposing combustibles, aka cigarette butts. That way you don't start a fire on a cruise ship and have to have them hit the emergency alarm to send people running for the muster stations and lifeboats with their life vests because shit has hit the fan. Pay attention on your muster drill. Have fun. So, Carnival Triumph and the infamous poop cruise. Can't bash on them much for covering this one because that was crappy. No pun intended. I swear. Okay, maybe a little bit. Yeah, that whole situation could have been avoided. But you want to dog on them for not serving alcohol during the situation? Alcohol is a mood inhibiting or enhancing stimulant. It can either make you the happiest guy in the room, dancing with everybody on the bar, making 14 new girlfriends before you go to your cabin, making the other 13 jealous. Or it could turn you into a raging lunatic that just wants to knock the fuck out of the next person that walks by you. One of the two. Or it can do nothing. Hell. When everybody's already pissed off because the electrical's out, the plumbing isn't working, there's human feces in little red bags all over the place, you're sleeping on the deck just because you can stay cool in makeshift beds and tents, you're already pretty pissed off anyway. Let's not serve them alcohol to add fuel to the fire. Legit decision on their behalf. Don't serve pissed off people alcohol. It's only going to piss them off more. Next up, after all that fiasco, there was a lawsuit. And talks about what he says is, quote, the ticket contract makes absolutely no guarantee of a seaworthy vessel. Yeah. You can't. Thanks to Cruise Critic user Cruise Trail. Summed it up wonderfully. I found this pillaging through the message boards. He said, or she, they, I'm not assuming anybody's gender, it's 2019. And I'm reading this as a quotation. This is exactly what they typed. I understand that taking a cruise, I am putting myself at risk of not safe passage, not seaworthy vessel, not adequate and wholesome food, and unsanitary and unsafe living conditions. I also understand that cruise lines, as well as all transportation companies, must be in compliance with certain regulations that are mandatory, and operators are responsible for that. A guarantee is not a word that can be used in ticket contracts. We all just have to be realistic. A cruise ship is a tiny piece of civilization in an endless ocean under mercy of Mother Nature. No one knows what can happen next moment, and no one can guarantee that it won't happen. Relax and enjoy cruising. It's safe and simply beautiful. There's plenty of tickets that have these kind of non-guarantees or disclaimers, if you will. I've been to plenty of NASCAR races, and on the back of every ticket it has the same thing that says we're not held reliable if you get hit with a piece of debris during a wreck and you get injured and you have to go to the hospital, or worst case scenario. Let's take a look at Watkins Glen's website. The holder of this ticket expressly assumes all risk incident to the event, whether occurring prior to, during, or subsequent to the actual event, and agrees that all participants, sanctioning bodies, and all employees, agents, officers, and directors of Watkins Glen International, WGI, its affiliates and subsidiaries are hereby released from any and all claims arising from the event, including claims of negligence. So what that says is, like I said, a wreck happens on the track, you get hit with a piece of debris, it's your own fault. You know that as a risk coming to the race. Simple enough. Actually, I believe it says on the back of hockey tickets for the Flyers that the Flyers nor Wells Fargo or anybody else is responsible if you get hit in the face with a puck during a game because you're not paying attention. Kind of crap happens. Look it up. There's some funny videos. Okay, maybe it's not funny watching other people get... No, it's hilarious watching other people get hurt as long as you're not the one getting hurt. And odds are you can laugh about it after the fact, 3 weeks later. It happens. Pay attention to your surroundings. Don't be stupid. So the Carnival Dream sells 1 week after a generator failure. Let's look at the repair timeline. A full swap can take up to 7 weeks. That's if the whole damn generator needs to be swapped out. If it's a smaller problem or they have the parts and stuff, it can take just a few days. That's totally possible. That's why you don't take your car to Joe Schmo down the street to have a full transmission swap. You take it to an authorized dealer, somebody that knows what they're doing. That way it'll be done pretty quickly. I can't confirm this, but apparently this situation on the Carnival Dream was a small wire problem that just had to be either repaired or replaced. If it's a wire situation, running a whole new wire can be done in a day by trained professionals. Simple as that. And on top of that, there were 6 generators in this cruise ship and one of them went down. Cruise ships are designed to be able to go with one generator down. It's called an emergency generator for a reason. It doesn't have to be fully functional for the ship to work. Now, it is in its best interest to be functional and ready to go. But hey, they prepare for this stuff. Speaking of the Carnival Dream, Michael Moses Ward in 2013 was found dead in a hot tub on the Carnival Dream. Now, you can't blame Carnival for this. If you don't know about Michael Ward, a.k.a. Birdie Africa, he was the last child survivor of the MOVE bombings in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania back in 1985. Mayor Goody Wilson. Do a little research, look that up on your own. That's not for here nor there. Don't matter who he is. It's how he died. There's big signs up next to hot tubs that say if you've been consuming alcoholic beverages or are consuming alcoholic beverages, you should not enter the hot tub. Some sources say he may have had a stroke in the hot tub, but an autopsy report by the Brevard County Medical Examiner, Miami, Florida, concludes the cause of his death was drowning due to acute ethyl alcohol intoxication. Just to let you know, 0.08% can get you a DUI in all 50 states. His BAC content during the autopsy was 0.156. That's almost double what can get you a DUI in all 50 states. The dude was drunk as a skunk on St. Patrick's Day. Simple as that. Negligence. Rest in peace, Mike, but man, it was your own fault. It's not Carnival's fault that you got in a hot tub while you're drunk. Some people say maybe Carnival overserved them. I've seen people with BACs just like that, if not higher, that can compose themselves like they were stone cold sober. How was Carnival to know? Dude may have had his own private bottle in his room that he was chugging before he got in the hot tub. I don't know, but it's not Carnival's fault the dude died in the hot tub because he was drunk. Negligence. Rest in peace. Speaking of negligence and rest in peace, on the Carnival Ecstasy, an electrician was crushed in an elevator. Once again, if you do a little research, you'll find out that the electrician disabled the safety system in the elevator before getting into the elevator shaft to work on it. It's not Carnival's fault. It's the guy's own negligence. Actually, a willful decision he made on his part. Rest in peace, dude. Should have let the safety system on. I figure if we're going to talk about the worst that can happen on a cruise ship, sum all three of them up at once. In 2017, on the Carnival Glory, an 8-year-old girl fell to her death over the railing of an atrium on the ship. After just a 7-hour investigation, the ship set sail on its next journey. The dude wants to fault Carnival for leaving after just a 7-hour investigation. Well, if you do a little research, you'll see that the parents actually corroborated this story with the police, with the investigation. There's plenty of cameras and security systems watching everything. So you pull the tapes from that. The parents said the girl climbed over the railing and fell. Could be partial negligence on their fault. I'm not pointing fingers, but how much investigation do you have to do when you have all the proof in front of you that a girl climbed over the railing and fell? It's open and closed. Rest in peace. Sorry to hear that. And now to the final topic of the video. And I love statistics because it's something you can actually look up and find proof of. I found this on a couple different websites, including this one. I'll link it down below. I'll put all this info down there so you can read it. Statistically, more Carnival passengers go overboard on Carnival cruise ships. Well, he's right. You can't blame Carnival for that, but you want to blame the statistics? Well, that's because statistically, more people cruise Carnival Cruise Line than any other cruise line in the world. Let's break this down real quick, shall we? I did a search. Market share of cruise industry. This is the percentage of passengers that sail on these cruise lines compared to the rest. Carnival Corp, 47.4% of passengers sail on Carnival. Royal Caribbean holds 23% of the share. Norwegian 9.5%, and all others share 20.1%. That's from cruisemarketwatch.com/market-share/ that website right there. Let's break this down a little more. Carnival Cruise International is Carnival Cruise Line with 26 ships, Fathom with 1, P&O with 7, Cunard with 3, Carnival Australia. Holland America operates 15 ships, Princess 17, Seabourn 5, P&O Australia 5, Costa out of Italy operates 14 ships, and Ada out of Germany operates 12. They are all owned by Carnival Cruise International, totaling 105 ships. Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines owns Royal Caribbean International, Celebrity, Asmara, Pullmantur, and TUI, totaling 48 ships. Carnival almost has Royal Caribbean beat 2-1 on how many ships they have in the ocean at any given time. Norwegian Cruise Line has 16 ships. They also own Oceania, that has 6, and Regent Seven Seas Cruises, which has 4, totaling 26 ships. That's practically a quarter of all those numbers, and that don't count everybody else. That don't count Princess. I don't see Princess on this list. They're a big cruise company. So really, when you look at it, Carnival Cruise Ships has almost half of the worldwide cruise passengers and ships in their fleet at any given time. So statistically, more people are going to be on a Carnival cruise, therefore more shit can happen on a Carnival cruise statistically when compared to the rest of them. Do your homework. I did my homework. Well, that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Your honest feedback is always appreciated. Don't forget to smack that subscribe button, smack that notification bell. That way you stay up to date on the next time I put out any videos or content. Leave your comments and suggestions down in the comments below. I always read through them. I take them all into consideration. It's what I'm doing this whole thing for. Possibly a little entertainment, enlightenment, argument, who knows. I'm going to have links in the description to my Patreon account. If you feel so inclined, toss a few bucks my way. It helps me upgrade from, an iPhone and this Amazon Light and stand I'm using that's already broke to get some better stuff to record with. All that is greatly appreciated. Hopefully I'll get some more stuff going with that in the future. Also, make sure you visit me on Twitter and on Facebook. I'll put all those awesome social links down there in the comments section or in the description in that thing down there. If you're watching on a computer or your phone, just keep on scrolling up. You'll see that down there. Hit the button. Whatever. If you're watching this on a TV, pull it up on your phone. Anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. And don't forget, no matter if we agree or agree to disagree, thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time.